Hello YouTubers, and I hope you have a nice day. And today I'd like to talk to you about an interesting topic. Nikon D7200 versus full frame. Now this is very interesting topic because of course Nikon D7200 is a crop camera. So kind of comparing with the full frame, it's a little bit strange, and I would say some photographers will even be very angry because they will say that comparing with a full frame camera is insane. Now I want to tell you something, and I will prove you in a minute on my screen what I'm talking about. So what I want to tell you now is that not in all occasions you need a full frame camera. I mean, not for every job you need a full frame camera. And the jobs I do and the photography I do, I don't need a full frame camera. And you can see my other videos. If you didn't see until now, you will see the link up here that do I need a full frame or not. In that video I will explain much more in detail. I don't want to get into big details now because it will be too long. So what I want to show you now, that even with an APS-C size sensor like the Nikon D7200, you can do some big pictures. I mean, you can do some large printable pictures, big size pictures, and I will explain you how. And it is very important that the sensor of the camera you are using is very good. Now the Nikon D7200 sensor is excellent, like everybody knows. I mean, one of the best APS-C size cameras. If you have a great lens attached to this great sensor, you will get some great pictures. Now the pictures I will show you in a minute, those pictures were made with the Sony a6000, because as you know, or maybe you saw my videos, I used to have the Sony E-mount system cameras like the A7R and the a6000 and the A7, but for the moment I sold them. I only have the a6000, and I sold the A7R, and I got back to APS-C size sensors. But anyway, I will show you the pictures. Those pictures were made with the Sony a6000, not with the Nikon D7200, but I show you those pictures just to see what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that even with the APS-C size sensor you can get some great big pictures, and I will explain to you how. So let's get into my computer. Okay, so we are in my computer now. And let's open up some pictures. Here we go. Now, as you can see, this is a HDR picture I made some while ago. I think it was last year. Yes, it was 1 year ago, 26th of April 2015. As you can hear, the EXIF data is here, and the picture was made with the Sony a6000 and ISO 100 blah 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 1/160th of a second. Doesn't really matter. The lens, this lens was a manual lens. It wasn't a Sony lens. That's why you don't see any aperture data over here and the lens data, because this picture was made with an old Pentax lens. I used to have Pentax film cameras, and I still have them, and I used to shoot with them. I love them. I love Pentax film cameras, and I wanted to try some old school Pentax lens with an adapter on the Sony a6000. So this picture was made with one of the manual lenses. It was a 28mm f2.8 lens. Anyway, what I wanted to show you over here, if you have a look just here, you can see the data. Now look at this, 16,230 pixels or 3,750 pixels. Now, okay, this is a panorama picture. I understand what you mean, and maybe you will say, yeah, this is, oh, this you can do with the Sony cameras with the sweep panorama. No, that's wrong. This picture was not done with the sweep panorama mode, because this is only again something in Sony cameras where everybody will say, oh yeah, Sony camera will do sweep panorama. It will do, but it will do only in JPEG. Don't forget that. So this picture, it was made with a sequence of shots. I think it was 4 shots if I'm not wrong, and then it was stitched together in a soft. So you can get this picture. But this picture, if you calculate, it's like more than 50 megapixel. I mean, it's huge. If you have a look already at this side, and you can crop normally out of this, of course, that's not an issue. But what I want to tell you, if you want to do some landscapes and you need a bigger picture, obviously if you have a 36 megapixel camera, that will be bigger than a 24 megapixel crop sensor. But you can do, from the same scenery, you can do 2 shots and then stitch them together. Or you can do even 4 shots, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then stitch them together. And when you stitch them together, it will be actually bigger than a full frame picture. Now, obviously, you need a program to do that. You need you need a photo editing software. So, what I used to stitch these pictures, it was the Sony, sorry, not the Sony, the Zoner Photo Studio 17 and 18. This is the soft I'm talking about. This is the Zoner Photo Studio 18, and you can stitch panoramas over here very easily. I will make a small video about how to do that, and I will post the video on my channel. So you will see that in a few days I will do that video, and you can see in that video how to stitch panoramas in Zoner Photo Studio 18. It's very easy. I mean, it's just like a few seconds. Honestly, it's like 20-30 seconds, nothing more. But let's go back to this picture. So this is the first picture I wanted to show you. A6000, and you can see it's actually, I will calculate in a minute, just a second. I will calculate just to tell you exactly how big is that picture. I want to be precise. So 16,230, 16,230 by 3,750, 3,750 equal. That is a 60.8 megapixel picture. This 60.8 megapixel. Now I tell you, I did try, not this picture, I did try another picture, which was almost the same big as this, and I printed in more than 1 meter by 60 centimeter. No problem. 350 dpi. No problem at all. It was excellent. It was sharp. It was poppy. It was no problem. So you can have bigger pictures with an APS-C. Now let's go the same. This picture was made again with the Sony a6000. You can see here Sony a6000, and it was made with the lens 50mm f1.8. Now this is again a panorama picture. This is even bigger than the other one. It's 20,700. Yeah, well, that doesn't matter. You can do smaller, bigger. However, you can stitch together 7, 8, 9, 10 pictures. It's just it is important how you do it, you know. And okay, let's have a look at this picture. Now this picture, I will show you just to prove you that you can do also portraits like this. So if you want to print a big portrait, if you get a client and he tells you, look, I need a portrait, but I want to print it in 2 meter by 1.70 meter, no problem. You can do a sequence of pictures, stitch them together, and you can have a 50 megapixel picture, no problem. And here you have the example. This picture was made at the Johnstown Castle in County Wexford in Ireland. This is only my sister with her husband, and we were on a holiday here in Ireland, and I just made a picture to them. But look at this. This is only an example. I mean, this picture is really not edited at all. Nothing has done to it. But if you have a look, this picture is huge, and it's excellent. I mean, you can print this picture as big as you like. I mean, okay, not billboard size, but you can print 2 meter by 70 centimeter, no problem, even bigger probably. I didn't try, but you can. I'm sure, because of this size, you can. Now, like I told you, I will post a video about how to stitch these pictures together, and why I did use Zoner Photo Studio 18, because you will see in the video I will post that. It's very easy. I did try to stitch them in Adobe Photoshop, and I didn't really like it. It was kind of difficult. but with Zoner it's very easy. Maybe you can find another soft. I have another soft, and sometimes I use this soft, but this is the soft. Sometimes I use it. It's easy and it's good enough. This is the one, image composite editor, you can see over here, and you can here stitch panoramas. And the only disadvantage of Zoner Photo Studio is that in Zoner you can stitch only one line of pictures, so you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one after the other. But if you want to stitch 1 up and 1 down, 2, 3 up, 4 down, 5 up, 6 down, then you cannot do that. You cannot stitch 2 lines. You can stitch only 1 line and one after the other. That's the disadvantage of Zoner. Now if you use image composite editor, you can stitch 2 lines or even more, you know. So this is a little bit different program, but it's easy to use and good. I like this as well, it's no problem. But usually when I stitch pictures, I try to stitch 1 line, because sometimes even the soft can make mistakes, you know, and then it's very difficult to correct. So the less possible to stitch, it's better, you know. If it's more to stitch, it's obviously much more difficult. But you will see, I will make that video, and you will see that in Zoner is very easy. Now getting back to the Nikon D7200, I will tell you, this camera is capable for doing excellent images. As you can see in my previous videos, I show these pictures to you. I did show, and I can tell you that this camera is capable to bring out some excellent images. And if you want some large image, you can stitch those images together, and then obviously the picture can be even bigger than the one with full frame. Now if somebody will tell, yes, but you can even stitch the full frame pictures and then it will be even bigger, that's true. You can stitch the medium format pictures as well, and it will be even bigger. But do I need it or not? That's a good question. So I think that the Nikon D7200 is one of the greatest cameras at the moment for the price. Like, it's €800 body, you know. You can't really find any other camera to beat this camera in image quality and in price. I mean, it's difficult to beat this camera. I think that it's one of the best cameras, and if you pair the camera with the right lens, then you will have some damn good pictures, I tell you. And I hope, guys, that you like this, and if you have any question, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will do my best to answer your questions as soon as I can, and obviously the best of my knowledge. And I am also human, so I can make mistakes, but what I want to show you that my experience is with the full frame cameras and the APS-C size cameras, that this full frame story is a little bit blown up, you know, a little bit like they try to force us to get into full frame. But in the meantime, you know, I am 100% sure that you don't need a full frame camera for the job what I do, which is wedding photography, portrait photography, and some landscape photography. I am definitely sure that I don't need it. Now you have to do your own decision. You have to think if you need it or not. And if you think you need it, then well done, buy it one, use it, enjoy it. The most important is to bring the camera out and shoot and experience the greatness of photography, and experience the greatness of creating something nice, you know. This is what I like. When I go out shooting, I want to create something what is nice and what is durable, I want to create a picture, and even if after 5 years I look at that picture, and I will love it. And that's the most important. Enjoy yourself, enjoy using your camera, enjoy using your lens. But if you want to save some money, then you have to think, and just don't jump in and buy a full frame without any research, because it's no point. I mean, I did that. Unfortunately, I did that mistake, and I lost a lot of money because of it. But that's the past. The most important is that you don't do that mistake. So start thinking, and just be sure that you need that full frame before you buy. So I hope you like this video, guys, and I hope that you will make the wise decision. And don't forget, just the most important thing is capture that moment. Have a nice day and take care.